Black mass, man, it's time to rock. I had to find a way, I couldn't find a job. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Black mass, man, it's time to rock. I had to find a way, I couldn't find a job. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God.
I woke up, then I logged in to that Urban X where they be flexing with that blog in. Put it down, cause my little homie called in. Had to bail him out, he in trouble with the law again. Black skin can't win in the white world. Seen a brother kill his own kid for that white girl. We ain't wanna go to school, but we had to. Every February it was scary in them classrooms. Shimmy y'all, shimmy yay. Old dirty bastards can't own dirty slaves, so they own dirty masters. Black Dot found a pot as a youngin', broke it down for his son, and now he serve it to the masses.
Black mass, man, it's time to rock. I had to find a way, I couldn't find a job. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Black mass, man, it's time to rock. I had to find a way, I couldn't find a job. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God.
Urban Excellence, a product of my residence. From 4 to 44, Obama was the president. I told mama I ain't tryna go to church. I'm like Adam, every Adam is a product of the dirt. And I've been reaping what he sowed. I got the product, got the dirt. And I can teach you what I know, but then you gotta put in work. You in trouble if you waiting on the government. I told my bro I make it out the hood, and that's a covenant.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome back to the Urban X podcast. We are here.
Bing Wonder Powers activate.
Yeah.
Form of a powerful black man who would never let his children turn into girls. Bing.
That's how we started.
That's how we starting this.
That's how we started. Okay.
This motherfucker cooking.
Okay.
Peace to the family out there, to the Urban X Nation, those who rock with us.
Yeah, man.
Those who appreciate what we offer, what we bring. We appreciate you guys, as you already know. I want to get right to some things, like thank the people who have been supporting, because we've been filling orders all week.
Facts.
Long.
Facts. Yeah, the post office people know me. Like,
oh, they know him on a personal level. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But it's cool you got that express thing going, since you can just go to the front of the line.
I don't have to wait.
You don't have to wait. See? Yeah, that's great. So you still have some time, because it's only the 13th.
Facts. You got like another week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, you got another, couple of days, 16 days to be exact, to get involved and with this offer that we have going on. And
thank you for the donation.
Thank you for the donations. They're already coming in.
Thank you.
We appreciate that support. What we're trying to do here is bring awareness. I call it the 4 L's. We want to live, laugh, love, and learn. Right?
Okay, yes.
Live.
That's a full life.
Right? That's a full life. Laugh.
Yes.
Gotta laugh.
Right.
Love. Because that's the, and learn something.
Yeah, that's a full life. Man.
Right? For those who don't know me, I am TheBlackDot. I am a 52-year-old, 12-year-old. So, and my kids can attest to it. It keeps me young, keeps me vibrant.
It keeps us stressed.
I'll keep listen, for a laugh in this household, I'll pull out all strings. So, and then if Eli laughs, or my daughter, I get rolling, because that's my audience. And it keeps me young, it keeps me happy, it keeps me focused, because there are challenges in life. You got to live.
Yeah.
You got to love.
That's a fact, yeah.
Right? You got to laugh. If you don't laugh, and then you got to learn something. So we are here to bring that heat.
It was a full week.
It's a full week.
It was a full week. A lot of stuff was going on. So how was your week?
My week was great, man. Like I said, I did all the 4 L's. I probably should have did a 5th L.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a ghetto Cosby story about me and wifey trying to smoke weed. It was real weird, real teenagery, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Because I'm out of touch with it. You know what I mean? I'm way out of touch. We didn't roll it right. It just became a disaster. But with that being said,
Okay.
we're not here to promote drugs.
We're not.
We're not.
But. No.
Oh, okay. Well, let me get a Ghetto Cosby story and start.
Get some more people in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. So, I was doing dust one time, right? Angel dust. We're not promoting drugs, but when we talked about it, it just triggered a Ghetto Cosby story, right? Okay. So, we're in the 80s, and I'm doing angel dust, right? And the building that's next to my building now, where I used to live, was abandoned. So we were on the roof smoking dust. I'm setting the scene for people, right? And while we were smoking dust, we decided we wanted to build a clubhouse or a pigeon coop. I wasn't sure which one it was. Yes? Mm-hmm. So, nation gets going, you're smoking dust.
Yeah.
What we decided to do was clear the debris off the abandoned building so we can have room to build this clubhouse or pigeon coop. And when we started throwing the wood dust, you got this? So I want to paint this picture for you. People thought it was smoke, but it was actually just dust. So what they did was they called the fire department.
Okay.
And the fire department cut the street off on both angles.
How old are you?
I was about 15 or 16.
Gotcha.
And they cut the street off on both angles. And then all of a sudden, I hear sirens. I hear my mother calling me. And I'm up on the rooftop. And I had just got finished smoking dust. And the fire department had to come up there and escort us down because I didn't want to think I could fly, right? Because I was on dust. And I was in trouble for a whole week behind that. My mother really...
Oh, a week. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
She taught you.
She taught me, and I didn't smoke dust again for another 2 weeks behind
Oh, yeah. You see?
Yeah. Building a pigeon coop.
A lesson learned.
That's a lesson learned, young people. Don't do dust and then try to build like a pigeon coop. Don't do it.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
So I don't have all my cells.
Yeah, clearly.
It
all makes sense.
All makes sense.
So I say we start off by talking about the fact that Snoop Dogg apologized to Gayle King.
He did.
He did apologize.
What did you think about the apology?
So at first, remember on the show last week when we talked about his comments and he said what he said about her, I cringed a little bit because I'm like, older black women. You did. It was just kind of like,
And my position was there are exceptions to every rule.
Yes.
Right, because if
that was just my initial reaction when I heard it. I was like,
which is warranted. But when you look at in context,
facts, I get it.
What Kobe means to Snoop, that's like his little brother. Right. And if my little brother passed away in a tragic accident, and you're pressing somebody about something he was not found guilty of, no charges brought against him, and the way Gayle was pressing, like after she gave her answer,
I said that too.
She said, like, but that would.
I think she was a little pompous in her delivery of the.
That's my point. So in an emotional state, Snoop said some things.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't fault him for it. That was just me, like, damn, right. But then I actually respected the way he wasn't letting up on it. He just kept pounding away, like, yo, I respected that.
Right.
So then the apology took me back because it forced me to think, like, who made you apologize? He said his mother had something to do with it. That could be believable. People's mothers have a way of getting the best out of people.
My point reference to that is when Jay-Z did the Super Ugly song and mentioned throwing condoms in the baby seat.
Right.
And he had to come up to Hot 97 the very next day and said, my mom's told me that was too far. I need to apologize. And he did.
Right.
So I'm not sure if Snoop has decided that that's the safest way to tuck your balls back in and still hold your a position per se, or was he instructed that you better get out here and apologize because it was clear that lines were drawn?
Yes, so it was. If you are on in the social media streets, if you see what was happening, it was between what we deem or what we call like the elite, the black elite,
the haves and the have-nots.
The have basically, but some of those were some of those are halves to us. You get what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So it was a line. It was a divide between up there.
Right. Yeah, but the line was drawn between the boule.
For sure.
And those of us who recognize who the boule is, and we ain't rocking with
for
that.
sure. They turned Gail into a Gail. Like they flipped the narrative, made her a victim. They made it into a black man, black woman thing, like they always do.
And then they made it into she was doing her journalistic duty. Well, her journalistic duty should have taught her that he was not convicted of any freaking crime.
Yeah.
So your journalistic duty should have put the facts in front of you, and this is no longer needed to be pursued because you had 17 years while he was here, Gail.
Facts.
To ask him himself.
And somebody said in the chat, Gail should apologize to Kobe's family for that.
Absolutely. For that line of questioning, the timing of that line of questioning, and what you were insinuating when you did that.
Yes, and I think the point still stands with Snoop was saying about Gail and Oprah anyway. I think the point definitely.
The point is made. He won. He lost the war, but won the battle, or vice versa. Something. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is
I think he lost the battle.
Okay, he lost the battle, but did he win the war?
Definitely. I think because the questions are still there. We still feel how we feel about Gail.
And once we start having mainstream people like 50, like Snoop, who are border on us, we rock with them, and Snoop, who I don't rock with because the most horrific scene I've ever seen is him bring two black women out on stage at the MTV Awards in doggy leashes. I will never forget it, right? It is the most demeaning thing I think I've ever seen visually. However, right? So I'm not really rocking with Snoop for a number of reasons. He might have been involved with the Tupac situation, allegedly. It's a lot of different things. So when Susan Rice says
that was interesting.
Yeah. The army. What the fuck army she talking about? I know she didn't mean the U.S. Army. She was talking about the army of Boule. Their team, who knows so much dirt on Snoop that this could get really funky.
Yeah, you was talking about how ratchet this Black History Month has been.
Oh, this Black History Month is brought to you by Hennessy. This shit is ratchet. We done went from Kobe to Gail to now we're gonna get into D-Wade. This shit is definitely brought to you by Hennessy.
Yeah, it's been getting wild.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So he had to back down.
Yes.
And he had to clean it up.
Somebody tweeted, and I agree with this point. Somebody tweeted that Snoop would have said what he said to Gail to like a black Republican woman. It wouldn't have been the same vitriol that he was getting online.
Absolutely, because
of how we just selective in our outrage and what we
right. And then if you wanted to know where certain people stood, just watch Twitter.
Yeah,
Steve Harvey, out of all people, this nigga, right? And people just started coming out your man Lamont Hill or whatever.
Yeah, Malcom. Yeah,
what the fuck is his issue?
Yeah, he's turned into like a full simp. Yo, I used to really like him.
Yeah. And all of these people lined up about her journalistic integrity. There's no integrity behind that statement unless you're trying to inception people into reliving something that this man has already overcome.
Yeah, what you got to do in a lot of these situations when you're talking to or you're watching interviews with some of these quote unquote intellectuals is when they're trying to talk around the point, like, I didn't agree with Snoop is saying, but the next question is, did you agree with what Gail asked?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because they always talk around
they
that.
They dance around that
in a really good way.
In a really good, clever way to say that Snoop was out of pocket for calling a black woman out her name. Yes, we're all in agreement with that. Malcolm, like you said, you eloquently stated that when it happened.
Yeah.
But I'm an old school, and I'm of the mindset, sometimes you buy an ass whipping. Like if an old person pushed me in the supermarket, and I said, look, old man, like, calm down. And he pushed me again. Hey, old man. And when he pushed me the third time, I might have to, to knock the old nigga out. I mean, you bought that. So there are exceptions to every rule. If my brother died in a crash or my
Right,
child,
yeah, right,
and
right.
you decided to use that to ask me some weird shit about when I was smoking dust on a goddamn rooftop to build a pigeon coop, I might get offended by that shit.
As you should.
As I should.
The Swooviest, thank you for the donation.
Thank you. When you commit treason among your own, the gloves are off. You don't get to portray your own people, then play victim. Okay, I have to agree with that. How can I not?
I want to talk about one thing, right?
Let's talk.
I want to talk about one thing. So I've been seeing a lot of, because we're gonna go into the D Wade thing next.
Yes.
I've been seeing a lot of these trigger phrases, stay on code, things like that, right? And I think I want to dispel the myth that black people have to agree on everything.
Right.
That black people even have to all unite. White people don't all agree on everything.
Right.
White people don't all unite on everything. We have two political parties that go at it every year for proof.
In full-fledged.
The only
blowout.
reason why it seems worse on our part because we are the people who are systematically oppressed.
Oppressed and affected by
Okay,
it.
so if we were the ones that were...
Big Elvis, thank you.
Thank you for the donation. If black people were the ones who were the dominant society, we were able to, I guess, shield our fights because we control the media, we control the narrative,
Right.
then white people will be talking about stay on code, because we all
Absolutely.
need to unite. Nobody, it's a myth. Black unity, if everybody, it wouldn't be, it's no such thing.
It's overrated. And when people say shit like, when we all unite,
Honestly, if
I
you
go, nigga, all right, true, get the fuck out.
I even take it further. I feel if you are following somebody and they say their goal is to get all black people to unite, I'm looking at them side-eyed. I think they're a fraud somehow.
And that means you either very delusional or you selling people some shit that you know you
That is
cannot deliver.
That is it.
And then when we talk about own code, who the fuck is writing the code? Because the code seems to change.
Whenever, whoever see fit.
Whoever see fit. Yeah. Interesting points.
I'm just saying.
Facts.
You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
Okay, so let's go into the other big news this week. D Wade, he went on Instagram Live, I think it was on Instagram, and he was with his son, and then he announced to the world that his son would now, who was formerly known as Zion, would now be known as Zaya, yeah, I think, and would now identify as a female.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yes, he went on Ellen. He talked about it, and a lot of people are up in arms about this. And my take was because I think it's a lot. It's way more complicated than a lot of people like to admit. Okay, some people are parents, and some people have to think like, "Damn, if my son came out, what would I do?" Right, and they never have answers. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or some people say, I would love my son. Like, that's my son, right? And I think when it comes to other people's celebrity, I guess because the celebrities out there, they have all the opinions in the world, but never have a clue as to what they would do, because I don't think it is easy, right?
Right.
That being said,
Great points.
That being said, I do think there is an agenda somewhere buried in this whole thing with D Wade, Gabrielle Union, because of the way they're parading.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I think there is
That was the first antenna.
Yeah, there is something to be said about that.
Yes.
However, I also do think, and this goes back to black people, all black people not agreeing, what he does with his kids has no bearing on my life. I don't care.
I never wake up and sit on the edge of the bed and go, damn, how fucked up that is, and now I can't function today because D Wade is using his child as a part of some agenda to appease the elite or any of that shit. I just did a piece for those who are in the chat now. You can watch it after this, and I tried to give it at a couple of angles as I always do.
Right.
And I think it is important that certain things must immediately be addressed, and that is, what's the mother's disposition in this process?
Yeah, I think that's everybody skips that point. That was a great point you made. Yeah, that was a great point you made.
And then you told me today that his mother, on Twitter or whatever,
I think it was
Instagram identified her son as her son.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is because even though D Wade and his wife had a divorce, the way he painted the picture of her and the narrative was all of a sudden she was insane. And that's how he got a hold of his children, because he has what we call handlers and handler money. You know what I'm saying? To help create this narrative that these kids are unfit around this woman. She wasn't unfit when you birthed them.
Right,
she wasn't unfit when your ass was homeless and your mother was drugged out and her mother took you in to her house. She wasn't unfit when you married her. So, if you want to know about the unknown, you study the known. Now, I also spoke, and I'm just giving you the bullet points because I want you to sit down and digest my full piece, is when you separate a child from its mother, there are psychological, emotional issues that cannot be refurbished and replenished with toys and a beautiful house and a fucking maid. That has nothing to do with the connection between the mother and its child. So I lose respect for D. Wade and anyone else who, after they get a divorce, do not understand the science of co-parenting. And co-parenting meaning every major decision, even after me and your mom's parted ways, every major decision was a team decision. Well, what are we going to do? Malcolm needs a computer, or he needs this, or he needs braces, or whatever, because at the end of the day, we're still trying to be the best parents we can be. Now, keep in mind, D-Wade is still playing ball when he gets his kids, and they're left home with Gabrielle Union, who is not their fucking mother, right? Now, when I wasn't with my mother, when she was in a drug rehab, I told you, I peed on the bed, I fought every day, I was in trouble in the principal's office for 6 months until my mother came home and all that shit stopped. I was back to normal, and I was back to being the brightest kid in the class. I told you, in first grade, I was so far ahead of the class, they had nothing for me to do for the rest of the year. Me and another kid. But I wanted to be with my mom's. Even though she was going through her own struggles, I wouldn't give a fuck about a mansion. I cared about being with my mom's in the trenches, because there's something about that, the nurturing aspect of a mother taking care of her child, especially during them early years. This whole shit with D-Wade's child may be the byproduct of the child screaming out for its mother. Yeah. May not be nothing else connected to that shit. Right? So let's deal with that. And I have to say that because there'll be the super gay people in the chat who say maybe he was naturally born like that. No, the fuck naturally he wasn't. You know what I mean? Let's stop that bullshit.
I always wrestle with that because I said this before. Like, I've known since I was like 3. Like, the girl in my class was cute. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was just a natural thing.
Attraction.
So I don't know. I can't speak to that experience knowing like something I'm not attracted to.
And I want to speak to.
I can't speak to that.
I have to speak to a few issues when the kid is. I'm gonna call him Zaya or Zion. I'm not gonna. Right. It's in the.
Zaya is actually the oldest one.
Okay, whoever. The young one, the 12-year-old, is in the go-kart, and he's talking about the way things, the old way things are now a thing of the past. You 12 years old.
Right.
What the fuck you know about what's old and what's not old?
Right.
You are 12, right? You can't even make decisions on what we eating at the goddamn restaurant.
Right.
Let's just be clear with that. And he could never know what it feels like to be a woman.
Right.
So they use these code terms, identify, because they know I wouldn't, if you don't have, being a woman is not just the physical attributes. There's so much that goes into being a woman. You can dress like a woman and you can act like a woman and still not know what it's like to be a woman. You can cut your ding off and tuck your balls in and still not know what it's like to be a woman. So stop with that shit. Tell me you identify, because then that creates a loophole in the language, which means, okay, you're not really a woman, but you identify. That's like me saying, I identify what it's like to be pregnant because one time I had real bad gas. Or I was constipated one time so bad, I ain't gonna lie. When I dropped that load, I started crying. Is it a girl? Tell me what I had. That's how shit. And that's like me saying, well, that's what being pregnant is like. Right. And it is not.
Right, yeah.
Right? So we got to be careful. This is a slippery slope.
Very.
Now, I spoke in detail, because then I put my parent hat on, because everybody who's going through this are not celebrities. So while Wade and his crew are celebrities and getting national attention, there are hundreds of thousands of parents around the country who are faced with this every day, and they don't have a support team of other elite people who can shelter their child. And I wanted to speak to them about, you did nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. So you, as a parent, when all else fails, must support your child through this process. Right. But there should be some therapy involved. Mm-hmm. There should be a psych evaluation involved, and there should be other things in place that is laid out before you resort to letting. And I'm not letting a 12-year-old do a goddamn thing. Because what if he come home and say, nah, I don't want to go to school because I identify with being smart.
Right.
I wish I would tell my mother some shit. She would say, oh, no, you ain't got to go to school, but you getting your ass the hell up out of here. Yeah. Right? So since when are we allowing, because what if you cut his bing off and then at 18 he decides, you know what, I really do want to be a boy. Yeah. Now you done fucked the kid up, because people do not talk about the psychological regret.
It's a lot of people. Surgeries. It's a lot of people. It's like a big community of people who just said they regret it.
They regret it because they thought they was actually going to experience womanhood. Get the fuck out of here. Right. That's the most. Come on, bro. It's spiritual. It's psychological. It's emotional. Women have so much goddamn power. You know what I mean? Just from bleeding. How about that? Right. You know what I mean? So, please don't. Let's not get funny with this. But it is a slippery slope. So in my sit down, I'm trying to spin the kaleidoscope around and get as many angles involved, because D Wade's situation may just be an agenda. Because it's one thing to support your kid in private. This is the life we going. We'd like you to respect our privacy. As no, he on Ellen and they doing a fucking tour. They might have a reality show.
Yeah, so I think that's what I heard. I heard they might have something. Yeah. Because every time people make these announcements and they go on press runs, it's always to get some type of entertainment industry clout. Terry Crews did it. We just talked about him. Right. He was the face of male sexual assault for some reason. All right. And then it got him new new opportunities with America's Got Talent and things like that.
Right.
And then,
it's afforded him. He got so comfortable with that lifestyle, right, that he would let another man come up and grab his balls. Right. So not do nothing about it because he wanted to protect his mortgage.
Right. And then remember Gabrielle Union just got fired. Yes. So it could be another layer to this, that it could be sympathy, like I'm fighting for my stepson, y'all fired me, and I'm a black woman, and right, you know what I'm saying, and I'm because she was a rape victim as well. See, so it can get multi-layered.
Yeah. And side note, this nigga D Wade is a weirdo anyway. Forget about his basketball skills. Yes, this nigga is a weirdo, dressing in fucking pink capris and all that other stupid shit. That's weird shit. That's not masculine. You know what I'm saying? And while his son might be watching that or want his dad's attention, and his dad is on the road wearing fucking altar tops and shit, who dresses him? Gabrielle? Who does that? And what woman in her right mind would look at her man and go, I wish my wife would be like, come here. What the fuck is this? Eli would be like, hold up. One time I wore some pants that looked a little young, and Eli was your dad, go change your pants, man. He said, nah. I'm not being funny. I'm just saying, them pants is too young for you. Go change your pants. Right? Because that's just how we get down. So any woman that lets her man walk out of the house looking like that. Yes?
Yeah, because remember wasn't she talking about tossing salads one time?
Okay. So, and this nigga's a weirdo. That's all I'm going to say.
I also want to just bring it back to the fight online that this caused.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have a hot take.
Okay, hot take.
I have a hot take.
All right, let's get it.
I think because every time a story like this happens, or somebody comes out as gay, every time it seems like a lot of women cape for these people, and I have a theory on it.
Let's hear it.
My theory is a lot of women do not care for the LBG plus community. They only care to get men upset.
So they're using the LBGT as another angle to piss off men.
And I'm gonna tell you why I think that.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so women will tell you, "Oh my gosh, I full gay people. I love gay people." Blah blah blah. If you ask them, would you be with a man who's been with a man?
They go, whoa. Whoa.
It gets funny.
Right.
And then when trans women come out and trans women want the same exact rights as naturally born women, they go, whoa.
Slow down with that shit.
You get what I'm saying? So it
Great
seems
points.
very conditional to when they want to support, and it's only support in public when men are asking public questions like, "Whoa, I wouldn't do that with myself." You get what I'm saying?
I think that's a great point.
You get what I'm saying? That's
I think it's a great point because every time they rallying with the LGBT community, it's against black men.
That's what it seems.
Yeah, that's what it is. But the minute you go, well, would you have another dude in here piping your man while you what way? Or found out that your man went both ways and now he's settled for you.
There was an episode on Insecure. Ooh. I think a lot of people skip over. There was an episode with one of the characters, Molly. She was dating this guy. Every episode they having sex, and then one day they get drunk and they talking, and the guy said that he got head from another guy. Completely turned her off. Completely. And I think that speaks to a lot of women's feelings, and nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah, those are great points. Those are great points. So, when y'all get a chance after watch that video.
You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
Side note, Brother Rich will be here.
Oh, facts.
In a few minutes.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? We got Brother Rich from Blackmagik363 is going to come hang out and talk about this amazing metaphysical meditation projects that he's doing to try to change the game. So he is en route on his way from BK to the BX, baby. Yes. BX.
So, other big news. Presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg, some audio from 2015 leaked. And apparently it was a speech he was giving in Colorado, and he claimed that 95% of murders and murderers and murder victims are male minorities between ages 16 to 25, and to stop that you have to send all your police and all the money and resources to these minorities. Throw them against the wall. That's what
do whatever you have to do
to get the guns out. And that's where the stop and frisk thing came out. And he was like, people criticized it, but he said it worked. And we're from New York, so he was our mayor. We know how he gets down.
Yes, absolutely.
So a lot of people were disturbed by that, and it's not looking good for him on a presidential race.
No, it's not.
It's not looking good.
But what he said was what we all know because we live it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's one thing, we don't have to give you statistics about, you know what I mean? This is our everyday experience.
Fact.
This is what we know. You know what I mean? He was talking to a bunch of other people to try to justify
He was talking to some people all the way across the country.
Right.
Justifying what he's doing here.
Right. And the only way they could even understand that experience is through fucking rap music or some shit like that, because they'll never show up in this part of town. So Bloomberg is done. They're all done.
Yo, the way and Trump is running. He's running laps around these people,
and he's running a masterful campaign.
Yes, because he's not. You know what's crazy? He's letting Democrats shoot themselves in the foot.
Absolutely, you can't get a better campaign than to have them spend their own money to fuck themselves over.
Yeah. So Bloomberg, and he said Bloomberg is, and a lot of people are seeing through it. He said Bloomberg is trying to buy his way in.
129 million so far that he's spent to try to use his money as influence, and it's going to be a waste of time.
Yeah, so Trump even said he'd rather face Bernie he said he'd rather face Bloomberg because he said at least Bernie has real support.
And Bernie has real politics and solutions, and that he wants to bring forth.
Right.
And Bloomberg has none of that. Bloomberg is just trying to get in and handle his own agenda.
Right. And then
Freddie Cleans, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And then there was also a problem with the Iowa Democratic caucuses as well.
Okay.
So apparently there was primary, they were voting, and a lot of people in Iowa were voting through an app. Now apparently the results came out late. And then there was disparities between votes, like the counted votes, and then there was disparities because it came out on who donated to this app being created in the first place.
Wow.
So Pete Buttigieg, the one who won, donated a lot of money for it to get.
So we're still listen. It's 2020,
Yes.
and we're still having voter fraud.
Yeah.
Go back to Jeb Bush and how George Bush Jr. got in.
Yes.
Right in Florida because his brother was counting the damn votes.
So the Iowa Democratic Party chair Troy Price, he resigned on the 12th.
Okay.
Because of what
that was yesterday.
Yeah, he resigned yesterday because of what happened surrounding that whole thing. So the Democrats, we just look foolish right now.
Yeah,
if you're a Democrat, you look foolish right now.
This is 2020, and that's the best we have to offer. And I'm only speaking theoretically because we exist in a different parallel universe anyway. Black people. Don't get it twisted. None of this shit means nothing to you if you stay focused on why you're here, what your purpose here is, and it has nothing to do with Trump or politics.
Right.
Yes?
Right.
If you want to know about the unknown, you study the known. Every president has been a racist piece of shit. Minus maybe JFK. And you see what they did to him?
Yeah.
In broad daylight.
Yeah.
Okay? And we're going to talk about that as we get into this Malcolm X piece, huh?
Oh, right.
All right.
Let's do it.
You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
So I watched the documentary on Netflix, Who Killed Malcolm X. It was like 6 parts, right? And I'm not gonna lie, some of it was interesting because even myself, I forgot the timeline on a lot of things that was happening, especially like the last year of his life.
Right.
That's crazy. I wrote a paper on the last year of his life in college. That was like one of my senior papers. But it was interesting because I'm gonna tell you why I found it interesting. Because I was talking to you, this was like off mic, like weeks ago, maybe months ago, and I said, isn't it interesting the way people are just all of a sudden kind of like reintroducing Malcolm X into the conversation? Like, it's debates happening over here, it's Godfather of Harlem, they're talking about him. You get what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
A lot of these
and then revisited history and so many different narratives.
Yeah, the NOI brothers are coming out, they talking about it. So I'm just like, what's going on? And then this comes out, and I think now, okay, it makes sense. Right. They probably knew this was coming down the pipe.
Yes, because this was worked on for a while, and this was put together very well.
Yeah, it was. Apparently, there was some disparities on this documentary. Was based off a book by, I forgot the guy's name.
I know his name is on the tip of my tongue, and
Manning Marable.
Yeah, Manning Marable.
Yes. And some people said, like, because he wrote a book on Malcolm X, and a lot of people said it was full of lies. There was another book that was actually a response to that book.
I believe it was the Judas Factor. If maybe the people in the chat can tell me, but there's another book that counters a lot of this information.
Yeah.
So remember, just because it's a documentary, there's still ways to paint the picture of a documentary to steer a certain narrative.
That's a fact,
right? Because somebody sent me some documents that counters a lot that we just saw in the documentary.
Gotcha.
And it was actual footage of some stuff, and it just made you wonder. Now, is it my turn to speak on this?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, Malcolm X is the most realest motherfucker. That's all I can say.
I thought you was going to go educated, intellectual.
But the most realest motherfucker United States may have ever seen, in terms of he was bout it. And what I mean by that is he literally, his level of discipline, intelligence, his ability to galvanize was like none other, right? He wasn't a fake leader who behind the scenes you could add a little money to. So when we speak about messianic energy, we spoke about it during the Kobe situation. I thought Bruce Lee had a messianic energy because he was a DJ. People don't know. He did karate. He hung out with black people. He was a philosopher, and he was gone. You know what I'm saying? And he mastered his craft.
Right.
So when we spoke about Kobe, again, he mastered his craft. He was an Oscar winner. He spoke certain languages. He played piano, blah, blah, blah. Then he was gone. Right? Malcolm also represented that messianic energy in terms of one who could galvanize a nation.
Right.
Right? So, and with that energy being as pure as it was, when I turn to my definition and I start thinking about a powerful person who I would want to mirror and I would want to use as a physical example of one who was dealing with Christ consciousness. Yes? Mm-hmm. I think of Malcolm X. So I want to lay that out into the thought stream as we begin to understand the many layers that needed to be peeled back to figure out who killed him. And I'm going to stick by what I said last week. There are a lot of moving parts. Now, this documentary was great. I didn't learn anything new within the documentary. I knew about Bradley from Jersey. I knew about that. You know what I mean? Somebody had already in the conscious community gave us all that. Could have been Professor James Smalls. I forget who it was.
Well, we actually said the name here on the show on the show last week.
Oh, okay.
Remember somebody put it in the channel. I was like, oh, okay.
Right. So, and I thought the FBI involvement when J. Edgar Hoover, who I call Gay Edgar Hoover,
he was the devil,
was like, do something about Malcolm. So when we think about Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm's relationship, a father and son relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Malcolm's fathers took him from him years ago. He was a Garveyite, and we know he was murdered under suspicious conditions. They put his mother in an asylum, and they used to do that. Yeah. That was the way. If they couldn't put you in a prison, they put you in an asylum. They don't talk about, what's his sister's name, Elsie or Ellis? His actual sister from Boston, who was very powerful political, the one who got him into the Nation of Islam stuff. You know what I mean? And financed a lot of the things he went through. So that aspect was missing from the documentary. So this relationship between Elijah and Malcolm, right? A father and son relationship where Malcolm took the teachings literally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So he was so disciplined, they said this motherfucker needed a piece of candy. They said when they cut his body open for the autopsy, he had the cleanest insides they had ever seen. So this was a disciplined spiritual man who took the teachings literally, right?
Right.
To the point where even Elijah Muhammad was like, God damn, nigga, this is how we do our thing, nigga, but God damn, right? So because Elijah was the teacher, right? Let's not diminish Elijah Muhammad's presence in this man's life. He was the teacher. But everybody who has the knowledge doesn't have the ability to convey or orate the knowledge.
Right.
So this is where Malcolm X, because
charisma.
All of his sons, none of them had the charisma to take it literally and move and galvanize the people and open up mosques all around this country.
One thing I did learn about in this doc was how much money they were making.
Oh, they was making money.
I didn't realize they were making so much money.
Oh, they was caking.
I didn't realize like that kind of like how one thing trickled down to the other. Like Malcolm, his being out there like boosted up membership, and that created businesses, and that
created opportunities
for a lot of people.
For a lot of people who never.
I didn't realize that.
All right, so now, along with organizations, and the reason I don't join any organizations is because they start out great. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to get together and change the world. And then the bullshit kicks in.
Right.
Because of jealousy, hierarchy, this, that. I don't think Elijah Muhammad had an issue with Malcolm X in the beginning. I just don't. I thought he saw, okay, this is my national spokesman. Look at what he's doing around the country. Sure, I'm the source, the spiritual source of the information. I'm a little older, a little sicklier, you know what I mean? But here I got a young, fiery, you know what I mean? But there are other people.
And it's not like he never gave homage. He like
that's all he did.
The way he spoke about him, it's just like
and you know, when you think about the autobiography and other books, I truly believe he would have gave his life for Elijah Muhammad. Yeah. Now, the power that Malcolm possessed, you had never seen a black man talk to white people like that.
Right.
The reason he could do that is because he had an entire nation behind him. Let's not get it fucked up.
Yeah.
He didn't come out on his own talking like that, because then they would have clapped his ass in an alleyway a long time ago, right? So him understanding how structure works and the FOI, and I got this whole nation behind me, I can step on these platforms with the backing of Elijah Muhammad and the nation and put in work and really look this white man in his face and tell him he is the goddamn devil. Right?
Right.
Now I'm going to get to the last year of his life.
Right.
Right? When that was removed from him, now he was on his own and realized when you give the core of yourself to something, everything to it, and it is pulled out from under you, you are in a tailspin. And he was in a tailspin. So he became uncharacteristic in even his behavior. You know what I'm saying? Exposing certain things about the nation. That's some snitch shit. You know what I mean?
Some of that
some snitch shit. I gotta keep it a buck, right?
Some of the footage, because I've always like read on him, but some of the footage of him actually going out, it looked like one of the debates that Sonny was doing.
I was like, some other shit, right?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, he really going at him.
He going at him. He's
definitely in the clip.
Like he was desperate at that point.
Right.
So he was desperate. So
I never saw it framed that way.
Right. Got you. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. What else did I find interesting? What else?
And as we got closer and closer to his demise with them firebombing his house,
what was
they try to say he burned his own house, and even that came out of Elijah Muhammad's mouth at the end. And you know that wasn't true. That's all he had was this house.
What I found interesting about this was that it's the way they framed Elijah Muhammad and the way they framed the people who were still loyal to him to this day bugs me out.
Oh, no, yes. Them cats in Jersey?
Yeah.
Yo, they on a square. Like, yo, Malcolm, fuck Malcolm. You know what I mean?
After all this time?
Yeah, after all this. And see, that's another thing that troubles me. I am not... It's above my spiritual pay grade. What I mean by, for me to add my 2 cents and say, dude, shouldn't that man's name be reinstated into the Nation of Islam Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Just like you leave a team and y'all leave on bad terms, and after you retire,
what's his name that's back with the Michigan after the Fab Five?
Yeah.
Juwan Howard.
Yeah, Juwan. They roll your shit up.
Yeah.
They after all this time, and y'all talking atonement and forgiveness and all of this spiritual jargon, no one has caped to have Malcolm's name restored back into the Nation of Islam Hall of Fame. That bothers me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can't judge the last year of Malcolm's life when he was desperate. Now, let's get to the killing, right?
Yes.
Once Malcolm started becoming an international player and started meeting with people internationally.
Which was a chess move after he'd been playing checkers.
Right. He was playing checkers, and then he started playing chess.
Yes, he started realizing, like, okay, I have to start, my circumference has to get a little wider.
Right, and I got to come back and double back around to the civil rights movement, to the people I had, alienated. And now say, listen, this is what I'm trying to do, is when the government knew, all right, so the CIA, FBI, NOA or NOI, all of that, everybody is complicit to some degree, and you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people died behind that too.
Yes.
Like that guy, the actual minister of the mosque in Jersey.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
They cut his head off.
Yes.
So there was a lot of wars going on, and the reverberation of this. And so I think
my grandmother was actually there that day.
Yeah, your grandmother,
your
great grandmother was in the building. Yeah. She was there that day when Malcolm. And I had to name you that. We already had Marcus. You know what I'm saying? With Marcus Garvey, we had to go Malcolm next. And you know what I mean? So these are some of the things. So when we start talking about who actually killed him, there are a lot of different players.
So what was clever, I guess, about this, they said who killed him. They were actually talking about the gunman, but they
innuendo.
Yes, they alluded to a lot of people who had their hands.
And I think that's
dirty.
What made the documentary great.
Yes.
For those who are just getting up on who Malcolm X is.
Yes.
Right? And just getting up on, Malcolm's life and his whole story.
Yes.
This was a great shot. And then, again, even some of this story is disputed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, like I said, the people sent me some emails.
Yeah.
And that kid Butler, who they said was not there and all of that, and he had nothing to do with it, I saw some photos that this motherfucker was there. So, and like here, circle, that's him. You know what I mean? So there are many layers to this, and I'm hoping that when people revisit the story now, and young people who didn't know who Malcolm was can get the full story of this, but it's not going to change anything in this day and time. So my vision was
they actually reopened. They're reopening up.
They're reopening the case. I saw it in the Daily News.
Why?
The day the documentary was released, the Daily News ran a piece that said we are now reopening.
Why?
This case.
Why do you think?
Who knows? Who knows? You know, Malcolm is. I mean, he's a polarizing figure. He ain't bought. He ain't. When you think of pure energy encased in a person, you have to think Malcolm.
I also want to talk about the people.
Dr. King was sniffing cocaine and fucking white women.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
So I also want to talk about the people who think they're going to get extra brownie points or look extra or sound extra smarter by trying to go back and revise history. And
not gonna do it.
No, because there are a lot of people. That's how people get famous on Twitter. That's how people get names, because they come out and say, Malcolm was this, or was.
What was disturbing was all of them people in Jersey knew William Bradley was walking amongst the people because he is considered a hero in certain circles. See, when you put in work for the minister, and he was a government informant.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Because there's no way
for sure
his documents could be protected like that.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get around to who he was. So we do know, and once you are a government informant, you get money, you get protection, and so yes.
For sure.
But he is a hero. Some even put him in a higher place than Malcolm, because he handled the work and did something that, so very interesting. Very interesting.
What's his name? Rep Choice. He been talking. I know I've read more books.
What is Rep Choice talking about?
He's talking about, I don't know about Malcolm. I've been reading about Malcolm since the second grade. Like,
yeah. What are you talking about?
Don't get, man.
See, you spend too much time fucking with
I know. Like, I caught it coming down the timeline. Wait,
I don't give a shit what none of the people in the chat be talking about, because they have no idea who we are, what we study, and what we read for a living around here. I gave him autobiography. How old were you?
I was like 7.
All right, so please.
Crazy, but we're gonna go to commercial break.
We're gonna go to a commercial break
because we've been giving y'all fire.
We've been giving y'all some heat, and then we're gonna come in. We're gonna do another little short segment, and then we're gonna bring Rich, because Rich is in the building. Let's clap that up. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So let's go to commercial. Oh, that was a short commercial. Bro.
Short commercial, my fault.
God damn, I didn't even get to scratch my neck. I wonder.
I was telling him I need my money on time. I need.
Mike? Oh, yeah. Wifey's telling me I need to promote some of this shit we got going on.
Oh, yeah. But
so Malcolm, what I do is, when I get out of the shower.
What you do?
I be looking ashy. They be like, yo, you ashy, Dad. I go, no problem. Like, I take a little bit of this shea.
Straight powder.
Straight and, just kind of get this thing going. You know what I mean? Make my hands all nice and smooth.
Right.
Smells all good.
Right.
Wifey be like, all right, I see you, player. So that's how we do that. So you can get this on the website.
Okay.
You didn't know that, but
I didn't know. Yeah, shopurbanx.com for the people who didn't know.
ShopUrbanX.com, and remember, it's the 29 for 29.
29 for 29.
So everything on the site, or most of the things, is $29 for 29 days of Black History Month.
Shirts are $14.50.
Yeah.
You get two shirts at $29.
You $29.
Hoodies $29.
$29.
You know what I'm saying?
So you can pop off. You know what I mean? So get this shea butter blends.
I use that shea butter
because we have Africans making this now in the bathroom. There's about 9 of them in there now.
Right now.
They chucking it up. You know, we have Alejandro making shirts, and now we have and get this shea. But what's this go for? 15?
I think so.
15 on the site. You can get 2 of these. Yeah,
15 on the site.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's dope.
You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
So the XFL launched this weekend.
Okay, yeah.
Did you watch any of the games?
I saw all of the highlights though.
So I watched the games, and you can clearly see the talent gap between them and the NFL.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But I think it is a great step in the right direction. The only thing I think was messed up that they fired that defensive coordinator Peppers.
Who's he played in the NFL.
Yes.
After 1 game.
Yes.
So he gave up 4 touchdowns, and they fired him.
I think that'll be the thing that kind of buries that league, because if people don't feel secure in their jobs.
Absolutely.
Like, bro.
Or you kind of feel like, dude, 1 game?
Yeah, you don't panic like that and fire somebody.
You know, so it devalues the league, so to speak.
Yeah. When
you see that kind of stuff going on. So, yeah.
So, real quick, somebody you don't talk about anymore. They reported that he asked for an exorbitant amount of money to
$20 million
around that to play in the league. And my thing was, I think that was just another clear example of why he never wanted to play football in the first place. Because I said, you clearly not going to get a job in the NFL no more, right?
Because we got 10 Black starting quarterbacks.
And 3, one that just won Rookie of the Year, one that just won MVP, and one that won the Super Bowl and the MVP.
That's called a triple play.
Yeah. So it's kind of over for him right now. So if it really was about football and
the love of the game, because again, I saw a poster, I'm staying in shape.
I work out 5 days a week,
waiting for the call.
Yeah,
and bullshit.
Yeah, and then he has a book coming out, a memoir coming out on his own publishing company, and
so he's the most silent revolutionary we've ever seen.
I wonder. Right? I'm actually, you know what's crazy?
And now he's gonna write a memoir.
Yes. I'm curious to see what this book is gonna say. I'm not gonna buy it with my own money.
Oh no! Don't do that.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, wait for somebody to give you a gift card.
But I really want to see what he's gonna talk about in this book, because I feel like it's just gonna be a bunch of
agonizing praising.
And like I said, it's 2020. His whole situation has been going on way longer than it should have, and I think this year you're gonna see him grasping for air socially. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like socially. Over for that guy, so
yeah.
You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
So I saw a very interesting game people were playing on Twitter.
A game. Yes. Okay.
And it was called a hashtag 7 albums to know me.
7 albums to know me.
Yeah, so what 7 albums would you tell somebody to listen to know you?
7 albums.
Put you on the spot. I know you didn't have any time to prepare.
Okay, I'm gonna say It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, Public Enemy.
Okay. I'm
going to say Paid in Full.
And this is not hip-hop. This is just all albums.
All right, I'm hip-hop. Okay. That's all the fuck I listen to.
Okay, this guy.
All right, we'll say...
Tough guy.
Criminal Minded.
Okay.
KRS. I'll say anything by Al Green.
Okay.
All right, because my father's favorite artist was Al Green. I fucks with Al.
Okay.
That's 4. Give me Reasonable Doubt.
Okay.
Give me All Eyes on Me.
All right.
And give me Rich and Cambada shit. How about that? Give me that shit, because lyrically that shit is superb, and production wise, give me Holy Ghost 1 and 2. Clap that up.
I like that.
How about that shit?
I like that.
If I was a dope MC the way I used to be, I would be Cambada. I don't know how else to explain it to you.
I like it.
His wordplay, his sorcery, his ability to use, other people are talking metaphors. He's using metaphors in conjunction to create syllabus that cannot be described by earthly people.
Yeah,
Now,
he's an alien.
yeah, he is an alien.
Yeah.
He's an alien. Side note, I'm hearing Jay Electronica, after 10 years,
Yeah.
is finally coming with this album, and I'm hearing Jay-Z is on at least 5 to 7 tracks.
Yes.
So I don't know if he's going to be using Jay-Z to, carry the album,
hope
or
not.
Jay-Z in his new conscious state is going to now piggyback off, because he did the 444.
Well, I love that album.
Right, dope album.
I love that
and
album.
if he segues into some shit with Jay Electronica, he can morph into Nas. Clap that up.
Because Nas ain't Nas no more.
No, what the fuck is he doing with little X and shit?
Oh my God.
What the fuck
Lil
is that
Nas,
about?
Nas ain't Nas no more, man.
Right. So let's get rich in here, man.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Let's slide your chair over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Let's just get real in this bitch. Slide that one over so Rich can get in here. Yep.
Okay.
Let me hit you off with that. Big pictures up. Okay, great. Let's clap that up. We got Brother Rich in the building. Let me hook you up
Thank you, my brother.
right here. And you are official in the building.
All right.
All right?
Okay, we're back.
So we are back in the building with Brother Rich of Blackmagik363. It's a lot of Virgo energy in the building here.
Facts.
We're all Virgo. This is
Hold on,
Yeah.
all three of us?
all three of us.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is gonna be the greatest show ever.
Yeah, so we're gonna get this shit cooking. So Blackmagik363, Brother Rich has been around a very, very long time. He was one of them young brothers when we were putting on events back at LIU, Brown Chocolate.
Time out. Free World Bros, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
for that
that.
bread.
$100 donation.
Yeah,
that's
appreciate
dope.
that. Appreciate that.
Thank you. And
That's dope.
yeah.
So,
dope.
Brother Rich would always be in the building, observing, there to learn, and then he began to figure this was a part of his calling, and it's time to activate. And he been so far since then putting on a great example of what it is to represent a community the right way. I got to get at it. Brother Rich, Father Rich is what we have, what we call integrity. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to other people, but anytime you call me for anything, I'm in the building. So we are here with you.
Yes, sir.
You being a Virgo, we are the hermit card in astrology. We stay to ourselves. We enjoy our own company. We are creative beings, but when we got some shit, we hit the forefront. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean?
Yes, sir.
And so you was telling me you was working on something beautiful, and so now we are here. I want you to share with the people what this project is all about and how we all going to be able to benefit from this latest creation.
Give me a couple of minutes because I gotta introduce what I'm bringing. To the
Absolutely.
with my album. First of all, me and Cambada, I feel as though, they say you got to be confident, BlackDot, right?
Yes.
They say that, but then when they see confidence, they get intimidated. So it's the weirdest shit in the world.
Yes.
So me and Cambada feel as though we're bringing forth a new genre of music. And it's not necessarily a new genre, but we're naming it because I seen Teddy Riley on the Breakfast Club, and he said when you have a certain sound, you have to name it for the people to understand it.
Right.
So we're, a new sound we're developing is called medicinal music, and with medicinal music, where our aim is to heal the people. Sound forms matter. Everything vibrates. Nothing is at rest. So these computers, these MacBook Pros that y'all using, it looks like it's just here resting, but it's actually vibrating.
Yes.
And if our ears was audible enough, we could hear what it's vibrating at. Everything we do, our clothes, everything is vibrating.
Yes.
So with that being said, everything is music. Matter is music. We live in a world of music. So we understand that music it could be healing or it could be destructive.
Yes.
The powers that be understands that, and they understood that, I'm gonna utilize music for the destructive capabilities because I want to remain in power.
Absolutely.
I'm weak. Dame Dash taught me something very important. He said weak people spend a lot of time and energy trying to decide how to conquer strong people. Strong people, when you're strong, you don't think about nobody. You're not thinking about
conquer. Exactly.
So they're like, how did we get conquered? How did it happen? We're not thinking about that shit.
Right.
But the weak person, they're thinking about you all day long. They're like
scheming.
They're like
scheming.
Look at that nigga eyebrows. Look at the nigga hairline. Oh shit. We're a strong person. We're not thinking it. We're just being us.
Yes.
So because of that, we have to understand who we are. We have to understand what we are being not negligent to, but we're being we're just not paying attention. We're not paying attention to a lot of things going on around us. And me and Kambada said that we're going to pay attention. Attention is currency. That's why I'm using the word attention. So we're going to pay attention to the music being currency and the music being a healing aspect of our people. So since music is healing, we're going to use this music to heal our people intentionally. And I'm coming out with a meditation album, right? So that's the first aspect of this medicinal music. And a meditation album is basically what I want us to understand, the importance of meditation. We're the last culture, I feel as though, not the last, but probably we just don't get the importance of meditation.
Absolutely.
We just mourn Kobe Bryant, right? We was crying boo-hoo. We was like, oh my God, Kobe Bryant, he was a god. And the Mamba mentality. You know what the Mamba did? The Mamba meditated.
Yes.
The Mamba meditated, Malcolm.
Right.
The Mamba said, if I don't meditate, I feel like I'm chasing the day. So if we're going to hold the Mamba mentality, I want the Mamba mentality. I want to be the Mamba. I want to have this work. I think like a Mamba. The Mamba meditated all the time. And Phil Jackson taught him that. He was a little chaotic coming into the NBA, and somebody needed to calm him down, and Phil Jackson did that.
And Phil did that for Michael Jordan and them as well.
Yeah.
And they laughed at it at first until they realized the meditative state of them having the same thought process. When they hit the court, they look like one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Phil Jackson did bring that to them, and excellent breakdown. Absolutely.
So a person may say, Doc, why, or Malcolm, why is meditation important? Meditation is important. The number one goal of all humanity, regardless of how I feel about you being white, black, Asian, whatever these terms they call us, is receptivity. Receptivity is the number one goal of humanity. Why is receptivity the number one goal of humanity? Because consciousness does not exist in the brain. Memory does not exist in the brain. Consciousness is not a function of the brain. Consciousness is a function of the brain accessing memory from the vacuum.
From the big... exactly.
Or the field, or the matrix, whatever. Because these are just terms we call it, whatever term we want to call it. So we're accessing information from the vacuum, then that means that we're like a radio. You know the radio? Imagine you're back in, let's say, the 1950s, and there's a boxing fight on. And the announcer is like, let's get ready to rumble, Joe Frazier versus... You're not going to break that radio and say, who the motherfucker's the announcer? Right. You're not going to do that.
Right. Even though when I was a kid, I used to think if I broke the screen, I could be on the TV. But that's just kid shit. Yeah.
Hey, so listen, the announcer is not in the radio, right? So consciousness is not in the body. The same way, if we want to understand spiritual technology, we have to understand the technology we use because it's all the emulation. So, consciousness is not in the body, the same way the announcer is not in that radio saying, let's get ready to rumble. So because of that, we have to understand that our body, just like that radio, is accessing information from somewhere else. So let me give you an analogy. If you are driving from New York to New Jersey, and you're in a car, you say you turn to 97.1. The further away you drive from New York to New Jersey, you're gonna lose that signal.
Right.
You lose that signal. Yeah, everybody gonna say, "What does this have to do with meditation?" The further away you drive from New York City, you lose that signal. The more you lose that signal, you're gonna get distracted. You're gonna get annoyed. You're gonna get frustrated, irritated,
trying to find the signal back.
Trying to find the signal back. All of that. Eventually, if you're gonna either have to turn it off or you're gonna get sick listening to that shit.
Right, because it's not in tune. It's a distorted frequency now. Yes.
So the analogy is, this is where we are in life. We're listening to signals and frequencies that aren't us. The only way we listen to that broadcast signal is by meditating and tuning into who we are and letting go of the distractions.
Drop a bomb on that.
So
Yeah.
Drop
Absolutely.
Drop a bomb.
So we gotta understand who we are. When we listen to a radio, it's the same way of who we are. We are listening to. We need to tune into our broadcast signal. We need to tune into who we are. Who we are has nothing to do with who the world tells us who we are. All that shit is a distraction. That's the static. That's the static that you listen to when you're driving. You know what I'm saying? So meditation is going to bring us back home.
And the weapons being used against us are distraction. Because focus, anything you focus laser attention to, is brought into existence at an accelerated rate.
I've actually never heard meditation spoken about that way.
No, but
they're
using an analogy. I've never heard the analogy like used that way.
So it is on point.
Yeah. So, but what we have to understand, there's something in our brain called the reticular activating system, and you could literally, as I'm talking, you could open up another window and look this up. It's a reticular activating system. The reticular activating system in our brain is a filtering system. You got to understand, we, in our prime, who we are unlimited awareness. But in order to experience this reality, we have to have a filtered experience. A filter means you block so much shit out. It means you block things out. So they say we only see 10% of what's happening.
And we only hear maybe 20%.
So imagine you filtering out 80%, right? Like, that's crazy. But this is how we get such a focus, intention. This is how we get high. Our soul gets high on reality. And when we don't get high, we don't want to experience. A filtered experience, we get high. Drugs is an emulation of what we do when we come down to humanity. So we get a filtered experience in humanity. We get high off of, let's say let me say this like this. If I'm the greatest basketball player in the world, let's say I'm Michael Jordan, I'm getting high off of basketball. My soul is getting high. You know how we got drugs in the physical? We got marijuana, CBD, not CBD, shrooms or whatever.
Yes.
In the spirit realm, we say, I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna be the best basketball player in the world. Oh shit. I'm gonna be the best politician in the world. That's another drug. Oh shit. I'm gonna be the greatest ruler. I'm gonna be Alexander the Great. I'm gonna be a white man, and I'm gonna oppress the black people. Nigga, I'm gonna tell them niggas that they ain't shit. We're getting high off of different drugs. These drugs are called experiences. A drug is nothing but experience. So with that experience and with that drug, we're getting high off of this filter. What we gotta understand is that ultimately we're not a filter. We are unlimited awareness. So with that, it's like a paradox. It's like a contradiction. That's why the greatest people in the world, they contradict themselves, because it's hard to understand this shit.
And people don't understand the contradiction, but it's because it's the paradox.
We will go crazy trying to understand this world. Yeah. But when you really understand this world, it's such a complete contradiction that you're like, hold up, I'm this, but I'm that. I'm this, but I'm that. Hold up, I'm black. But no, I'm black. I'm unlimited awareness. But I'm black because I'm going through this, and the police is killing me, and my people are dead, and we went through slavery, and we have a mythos. So you will have you will become bipolar.
Yes.
So this is why so many people turn crazy studying this information, and this is why you shouldn't push this information on everybody, because everybody isn't ready for this information. And one more point before you say that, and this is why this information was only available to a selected few in antiquity, but because we have the internet, it's available to everybody, and everybody's like, nigga, I don't understand this shit. Get this shit out of here.
And that's why when the internet was introduced to our teachers, Bobby, Phil, Steve Coakley, Delbert Blair, a lot of it came with ridicule because the information was not digestible to those who were not on that frequency. We were fortunate enough to be there for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours at a time and have them walk us through a process so that we could be receptive to that information. And now it is our duty, we are the custodians of such information and have to make it palatable. And that's where, not plugging Hip Hop Decoded, but that's what my mission was when I did Hip Hop Decoded, was to make certain concepts palatable to a generation who was on a different frequency so that they could understand what was going on. Drop the bomb.
This is what, can they hear me?
Yes.
This is what I need the people to understand. Different frequencies that contradict each other doesn't mean one is right and one is wrong. And it's a very mature concept to understand. Bobby Hemmett never embraced the internet culture. He never wanted to promote himself on the internet. Panic decided that that's something he wanted to do. It doesn't mean Panic was right, Bobby was wrong, or Bobby was right, Panic's wrong.
No, absolutely.
What it means is one generation had their goal and their mission, and another generation had their goal and their mission. Bobby felt as though, shit, I'm not putting all my information out there. Panic said, yo, this is the new wave.
Right.
So with that being said, just like you said, it's a polarity, and we have to understand that, and it's a very mature concept.
I say it, Brian. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Just because Elijah Muhammad said something, or whoever we love and adore says something, doesn't mean we have to follow them to a T.
Absolutely.
We live in a new time, in a new era. We are not the ancient Kemites. We are not Bobby Hemmett. We are not the ancient Sumerians. Yes. We are a new race, a new people, a new time, and we have to develop our own individual way of thinking.
Absolutely. And that information was relevant for that day and time.
Yeah.
And if the information don't move, it's not valid. So you get people who are stuck to this day in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and we have to evolve, and the information has to take on a different meaning for this day and time for it to be useful. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, the internet, whether you want it to be it or not, it's here. So a whole new generation is brought into a level of information because of the avenues afforded to us that weren't there before. Absolutely. Yeah. So with that being said,
so with the meditation, like I was saying, the number one goal should be receptivity. And I brought up the example of the broadcast tower, of us getting away from the broadcast tower and hearing the static. Meditation is a way to us to get home to our home frequency, a home resonant frequency. Once we get home to once we get to that home frequency, that resonance frequency, we discover who we truly are. Everybody wants to know thyself. Know thyself isn't about a race. Know thyself is about you as an individual. Because if we're looking at a puzzle, if this piece of the puzzle says, I'm this piece of the puzzle is never going to get together. This piece of the puzzle has to understand that it's an individual piece, and this is an individual piece. We're all a race, and we all should think the same. We have the monolithic way of thinking. No, nigga, you have an individualized way of thinking, and you bring something to the table that nobody knew. Just like my fingerprint is different from Dot and Malcom. Nigga, our mission is different from everybody. So this puzzle is different from this puzzle, and we have to focus on that. But if we just focus on race consciousness, we will never figure that out. We have to, and it sounds selfish, and that's what I'm saying about the paradox. Mm-hmm. But greatness is selfish to a certain extent. Malcolm X spent time to himself, neglected his family.
Absolutely.
Michael Jordan spent time to himself. Kobe Bryant told his wife, listen, I need a certain amount of time to myself to do what I do. Absolutely. You know how much time he sacrificed with his family?
Absolutely.
So if you truly want to be who you are, you need solitude, and that's that at the end of the day.
And that's what separates great individuals who change paradigms, and regular people who just live in an everyday life who never rise above and understand that laser focused that we speak about through meditation. And what I'm appreciating about what you're saying is, because I was listening to you last night, is we have to learn to meditate under different circumstances.
Indeed.
So now, because I spoke years ago about having a noise meditation, and what I was trying to say was, because of so much chaos is going on, how do we zero in and still focus? So when you speak about this project, you're making it in the environment that we're in. We don't live in the mountains. We're not fucking monks. So you can't make some meditation shit that's just for fucking monks. It has to be something conducive to the day and time that we live in. And I know who you are, so I know you've been cooking it up, you know, from an alchemical standpoint. So tell me about some of the different frequencies and how this is going to move up the chakras, and how the alpha, beta, is going to put people in the right place so that they can maximize what Black Magic has to offer when it comes to this.
I don't want to say it's easy to meditate in the mountains like the monks, but what I'm going to say is that we probably did that in the past life, Doc.
That's
Malcolm.
what I mean.
And that's.
But it was easy because nothing else
easy.
around.
Yeah, nothing else around.
No big booty holes.
When you in jail,
shit, yeah.
A jail nigga is the most genius nigga in the world. If you ever talk to a nigga that's been locked up for 10 years, he has a million ideas. He's the most listen, my brother, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do. He's the most genius thing in the world. But once he gets out and the distractions are there,
yes,
you're like, yo, what happened in this? What happened in that? And we can't understand, but once we become conscious, we understand it's the distractions.
Right.
But yeah, that's what it's all about. It's not just about sitting down meditation. It's about walking meditation as well. We got to understand everything, and this goes into what I was talking about. There's a new Black Age movement. There's a Black New Age movement going on. The New Age movement has been looked at as this white movement, well, white people. And they're thinking about, ghosts and being possessed and Ouija boards and shit like that. But if you're in the conscious community, you was aware of this years ago with Bobby Hill and the Phil. But if you're just in this internet era, this is new to you. But it's a popular Black New Age movement going on right now. And we are being hip to everything, the occult sciences and the esoteric sciences. And this stuff that Bobby talked about, it's real, man. It's real.
Absolutely.
It's real. And we have to understand that, the importance of the darkness and the importance of the unseen realm. And that's something that we neglect because of distractions, because of society, and because Black people more than anybody, we have been affected by religion. Because we went through slavery, for whatever reason, we embraced Jesus and religion, Christianity, more than a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you do that, do that. But what I'm talking to a different group of people right now.
That's a process. And we're talking to people who are elevated beyond that, who understand what their power is and how they can take control of their narrative.
It's like conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theory was a process for me with David Icke and Jordan Maxwell.
Absolutely.
I will never bash it. You'll find people that bash it after they elevate past it, and you're not supposed to do that.
And I told people the same exact thing.
You're not supposed to do that.
These people are coming into their awareness, and we were all there at one point. You know what I mean?
Imagine a 7th grader bashing a 3rd grader.
Right.
If we would be like, nigga, you're retarded. That's what we do.
Yes.
We're 7th graders bashing the 3rd grader, so the people that's in 3rd grade, they can never even get to the 7th grade.
Absolutely.
How the fuck we do that?
Absolutely.
But we think it's so logically.
Yes.
So we have to stop thinking logically, nigga. In order to get to the 7th grade, you have to go to the 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade.
And
you gotta,
religion is a part of that process. And I always spoke to people, a lot of times coming into the conscious community is a way station as a part of your deprogramming. Because you got to shake a lot of that religion off. But it's not a place to stay because consciousness never stays. It is constantly moving and evolving. So don't come and make the conscious community a religion next. Because all you did is replicate what you just left. Come, deprogram, learn. It
has a lot to do with comfort too.
Yes.
A lot of people don't meditate because they're uncomfortable with their own thoughts as well. They don't like to be alone.
True. Very good points. Very good points.
Growth happens outside of your comfort zone.
Say it again.
Growth happens
That's a fact.
outside of your comfort zone.
That's one of the lessons Bobby taught. He said you're gonna hear some things that are gonna make you uncomfortable. That means you're learning.
Yep.
If everything I say you're in agreement with, then all I'm doing is recycling ideas and shit.
He said it's reaffirming your belief system.
Yes,
that's the word he used.
yes.
Last weekend, my mother invited me to an event at Bronx Community College for Amadou Diallo's mother. She throws an event for her son every year.
Yes.
This is the 7th year. And I get there, my pops, my mother only told me I was going to do an interview with his mom. So I'm like, I bet, cool. We get there. What did she say?
She said, you on stage in 2 minutes. And it made you uncomfortable for a minute. I was giggling my ass off because me being a speaker, you can't put me on the spot. I do this shit for a living. But to watch Malcolm go, wow, Mal, you didn't tell me. And it made him uncomfortable, but he hit that stage and he shined. So that's where the growth comes in. So the next time you're a little bit more prepared
like,
to deal with that situation.
You know what I'm saying? My mother might throw me under the bus again. I'm ready next time. You know what I'm saying? But I understand the comfort thing.
And meditation in the beginning stages of the linear sense is hard because like you start saying, damn, is the stove on? What the fuck did Rich mean when he said that shit?
Doorknob.
Doorknob, red car, puppy. You know, it becomes a process, you know what I mean? And then a lot of people give up early on it.
Yes.
The ones who can stay focused and meditate through their situation with what they want, achieve what they want at a faster rate.
Facts.
Let me read this real quick.
Yes.
I bought this. Red Pill stole my book when he did the lecture for 2020 Ascension Conference. I never got the book back. Red Pill, give me my book back.
Red Pill, come on, man.
So I been took some notes, so I want to read. This is from
Shout out to Red Pill.
This is from David Icke's book, Humanity Get Off Your Knees, I think it's called. I forget the name of it.
Okay.
But Bobby Hemming always said, don't throw the baby out with
the bathwater. Absolutely.
And half of his book, I'm like, the fuck is this? But there were some parts of that book. If you're mentally mature enough,
I read 4 of his books already on my own. They're in your library, David Icke.
If you're mentally mature enough, you're gonna get some jewels from that. So we're not gonna agree with everything everybody says.
Right.
Where did we get this mentality from?
And I wouldn't want to agree with everything somebody said.
Like, bro, like, come on. Like, there's gonna be some things I don't agree with. Malcolm, Black Dot, vice versa. Like, where do we get this mentality? And this is why, side note, if you notice, a lot of people don't have relationships nowadays. And when I say that, everybody say, friends ain't shit, people ain't shit, girls ain't shit, men ain't shit, everybody ain't shit. I mean, I ain't got no friends, I ain't got no girl, I ain't got no husband. But eventually you gotta look at yourself and you gotta say, well shit, why is that? Why is that?
Yes.
Why haven't I been able to maintain relationships?
Yes.
Just because, I'm not saying be with somebody and be phony, but just because somebody has a different philosophy than you in life, don't mean you got to cut them off.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we got to work on that because everybody's lonely now.
Yes.
And if I'm saying if everybody ain't shit, why don't we get all these people that's saying everybody ain't shit, put them together, and we should have a community full of people who got mates. We ain't got that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All the men saying women ain't shit, all the women say men ain't shit. Let's put y'all together. Would y'all work out together? No. Absolutely. No. But anyway, let me read this. Because before you really understand meditation, we have to understand how this reality matrix works. And I really respect how David Icke broke this down, and I wrote some notes on it. So I just wanted to say this real quick. When people talk, and this is from his book, I think it's Humanity Get Up Off Your Knees. When people talk about, I'm not gonna read the whole thing.
Again,
when people talk about the subconscious or going within, they are talking about the vibrational waveform level of reality from which all form and things are decoded into manifestation. The subconscious connects us to the information matrix, we talked about that earlier, of the universe. Our reality is very similar to the wireless internet. From the moment we are born, we go online. We are receiving information for the invisible web, from the invisible web, and adding our own information and perceptions to that collective mind. DNA, with its crystalline structure, is a powerful receiver, transmitter, and amplifier of the frequencies of light that connect us to the cosmic internet. So just like the radio is a receiver, our DNA is a receiver. Same thing. Same form of technology. Ours is just way more advanced. Let me continue. The brain body is basically a liquid crystal. Pause. The LCD, the TVs, LCD, liquid crystal. Bodies are liquid crystal. Our TVs is a liquid crystal display. LCD. You be like, let me get that 26-inch LCD. Mm-hmm. All right. When massively magnified, you can see the crystalline nature of blood. The more you magnify it, it becomes quartz crystal clear as day. Quartz crystal, which is used in our computers, has the ability to generate a fixed frequency and convert vibration into electrical signal, and that's just what our five senses do. So, we're crystals. This is why you see red and blue pill. These niggas is on these crystals. They're like, and niggas like, you niggas look foolish. Why you wearing all these? Quartz crystals converts. What is it? I'm just want to say exactly how it's saying. Converts vibration. No, let me say it. No. It converts vibration into electrical signal, quartz crystal. I just wanted to read exactly because I don't want people, because when they get the book, I don't want them to say, well, Rich said this and then no. I want, because I know they're gonna, every time I mention the book, they buy it.
Got you.
So since quartz crystal in our body converts vibration and electrical signal, what does that mean? Well, and this is what meditation is all about. Well, I feel a certain way. I feel bad, right? Let's say I feel depressed. Our brain, our body converts, because we're quartz crystal, it converts that vibration into an electrical signal that we see outside of us. So if we're depressed, we will see things that make us depressed. So person say, nigga, we say you create your own reality. They say, nigga, I ain't never think of that car accident. Well, maybe you thought about anxiety. Because of that anxiety, you thought about that vibration of anxiety. Your brain said, based upon your psychological interpretation of reality, your brain says everybody has their psychological interpretation of reality. Mine's different from yours is different from his. Your brain says, based on yours, you think depression is a car accident. You think depression is having a baby mama that ain't worth shit. So your brain will give you that, but it's the same signal. Right. It's the same signal in depression. So it's the same frequency. But it's a different picture. The picture is based on your brain's psychological interpretation. You get what I'm saying?
And I almost got ran out of Memphis because they was telling me about a 13-year-old girl who got raped. And it wasn't that I wasn't showing compassion for that. I began to ask, how was she resonating? You know what I mean? Because even on the subconscious level, the sexual energy, again, that's a part of your crystal, how you see and the people you draw to you. And I gave a whole metaphysical spill that went way over their head, and I almost had to back out of there. But that's just another example of what we talk about, how you perceive things from the subconscious mind and how it can manifest in your life. I am not literally saying she deserved to be raped. That would be fucking foolish. And like you mentioned, the car accident, you didn't deserve that either, but maybe you drew that to you based on the resonant frequency that we're speaking and emotion. And they ran me out of Memphis.
Emotions get such a bad reputation. I remember I was working outside in Brooklyn, and a brother said to me, he had this big rap on his head. He was like a guru, and everybody looked up to him. And he went to the Sufi school, and he told me emotions are evil. Yeah. He told me emotions. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm usually interviewing, but I'm talking now. He told me emotions are horrible. You should not pay attention to your emotions. And in my mind, I'm like, damn, why emotions are horrible? Well, in my mind, I felt as though, that's how that helps me create my reality. I need to get emotions. It feels good. So the more I realize is that emotions and thoughts, it's like a marriage. And you were talking about the way Wade or the son earlier, right? So the way Wade think he's a girl, or son think he's a woman, right? So say he cannot have a baby. He just can't. He doesn't possess that energy within him to have a baby. It is what it is. A woman does not have that energy in her to produce sperm. It is what it is. Maybe they'll say, well, back in antiquity, women, well, it ain't that way right now. Right now, what I'm saying is that masculine and feminine, which is magnetism and electricity, that produces life. It's like a plug in a socket.
Electromagnetism.
And all this shit right here If we were truly gay, we would say, I don't need to plug this plug into that socket. I can have a plug and a plug, and we won't produce shit out here. There will be no show. There will be no show. If we were quantumly gay, if you're quantumly gay, can shit be produced in this world?
Some of these, when you get some of these on the package, it says female, male.
Yes.
You
That's exactly what it is.
know what I'm saying? On the plugs.
Right, on the plug itself.
On the plug itself. Everybody in electronics knows that. This is an agenda by whoever is the so-called elite for depopulation or whatever reason they have. But male, female is necessary. So the point I was making is that emotions are extremely necessary. They're magnetic. The thoughts are electrical. Together, we produce life. So we have to pay attention to our emotions. We can't give our emotions away to the news, and that's what to do. They want us to give them our emotions is our currency. Our emotions is the equivalent, nigga.
That's right.
Our emotions. Where's the camera at? Right there.
Yep.
Our emotions is the equivalent to this. They be like, this ain't backed by paper. My emotion, it is. This ain't backed. No, they say this ain't backed by gold.
Right, or silver.
This is backed by my emotions.
Yes.
Whatever the currency is in the day, say if this is the currency, say if this is the money for the day, my emotions will produce 1 million of these so I can be motherfucking rich.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Absolutely.
If this was the currency of the day,
Facts.
my emotions will produce 1 million of these so I can do what I got to do to feed my son Sirius.
Absolutely.
So whatever the currency of the day, don't tell me this ain't currency. Anything I say in currency is currency.
Absolutely.
If this is currency and I got to feed my son with this, my emotional state, my vibrational state will produce 1,000 of these so I could feed little baby Sirius.
And we have a collective agreement that this now
A collective
is
agreement.
the currency that we're rocking with.
A collective agreement.
Niggas will pop your top for this.
Or this. Or what if Shea Butter. Shout out to Shea Butter Blends.
Shout out to Shea Butter Blends, baby.
Shout out to Shea Butter. So I need us to understand the importance of our emotions. And let me finish. I guess.
Absolutely. The floor is yours, baby.
So with that being said, so your senses decode information from vibrational states, which is your feeling, your emotions, how emotional you are, nigga, and it transmit it to the brain as electrical signals. The brain itself, made up of crystalline cells, then decodes the information into a apparent third-dimensional world that appears to be outside of us, but only exists in that form inside our brain. It's the same principle as television programs on the screen or the internet on the screen. The brain decodes the information from the 5 senses in 2 stages. Firstly, it transforms it into digital information, and then the left side, which is the side they shut down, reads it, and it creates a world that we think we see.
Wow.
Shit. So we got a right and a left side. We have a logical and a creative side.
Yes.
The creative side takes that information and it creates this. This is the greatest Photoshop ever. This is the greatest CGI ever. Mm-hmm. You know, you got Adobe Creative Cloud. This is the greatest Adobe ever. This world. Adobe could never compare to the illusions of this world.
And how it can be manipulated for your benefit or not your benefit.
Listen.
Imagination. Let's start talking about that. Yes.
Now imagine, this is nothing, this world is none but our imagination played out.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, meditation is extremely important. Music forms matter. Music is extremely important. You talked about frequencies earlier. Our brain functions in different wave states. During the waking state, I think it's an alpha mode, but no, I don't know if it's alpha. I forget the exact name.
But I think the beta state is when we're more.
The beta is deep sleep.
Right, deep sleep. Yes.
But the wave state? No, alpha is like the dream state right before you go to sleep. But a lot of the music on my meditation album is going to take you in that dreamlike state.
Okay.
And what it does is that I got some binaural beats in there, and what it does is, alpha state is a certain frequency. How you do that with music is binaural beats is you have a frequency on your left side, you have a frequency on your right side. So let's say it's 500 on the left side. I have a instrument on there. Let's say it's 530 on the right side. 500 on the left side, 530 on the right side. You subtract it. Between those two sounds is 30 hertz. It's 30. That 30 is the measurement of the alpha wave, because that's
because the other two cancel each other out.
Yeah, they cancel each other out.
The balance left over.
The balance left over is 30.
Okay.
So because of that, your brain automatically syncs with that wave state that a hypnotist will put you under when they do that thing right there. When they do that. So
get out and shit.
Get out. Yeah. So because of that, we automatically go in that state, and it's easier to create because in our waking state it's so hard to create because we have the monkey mind. There's so much chatter from what I said earlier, the static. Remember I used the analogy? The static.
Absolutely.
The static is there, so it's hard to create. We got to get rid of the static and then we create. So we got to figure out ways to hack the brain. And that's meditation is one way to hack the brain, basically. In a nutshell, get rid of the static, man.
So this project, I heard you mention you taking sounds from different continents, to kind of give us a not a smorgasbord, but a full, well-rounded, understanding of sound from different places, because different continents have different vibrations and represent different chakras. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we're global people. We, in our DNA.
It's a Zaza. Thank you so much.
Yeah, in our DNA, and it's Zaza. It's a Zaza. Be on my channel, so shout out to that.
Shout out. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
In our DNA, we're connected to the entire universe, the entire globe, to everything in existence. So these instruments, they are us and we are them. So I want to give us a global experience, and I got all the continents. And the different continents resonate with different chakras. If you notice, different continents have different personalities.
Yes.
So each song has a different personality, and it resonates with a different continent. So
dope. So when is this project?
What's it called?
Mercury Meditations.
Gotcha. Mercury Meditations.
I'm a Virgo.
Yes.
You call me.
We get ready to go on the retrograde on Sunday. So, Mercury retrograde.
I'm an 8, and I'm an 8. That's Mercury. So, I'm Mercury all the way, and it is what it is.
So Mercury Meditations.
Yes.
And how many songs? Because I heard you mention there will be 7-hour version of these songs. What was the purpose of giving that much for those who specially ordered that? What are you trying to accomplish?
Because when you sleep, Black Dot, or like I said, that's when you're being programmed.
Right.
Sometimes when I'm asleep, Black Dot, if I'm listening to cartoons, I end up dreaming about that shit.
Absolutely.
I'll be
happens
like,
to me.
I'll be like, what the fuck?
That shit happens to me all the time, bro. It really does.
The best way to you got to understand, your conscious mind is not your enemy. We be like, the ego was our enemy. If it was our enemy, we wouldn't. The ego allows us to experience this reality. So,
got you.
And we just have to understand the role of the ego and the role of the superconscious and the subconscious.
Because it can be your enemy.
It can be,
if you let it out of control and don't understand its importance and role.
And its role.
And you understanding. Absolutely.
It's not the driver. It's not the driver of the car. You can't allow it to be the driver. They say it's a good slave but a bad master. You can't let it be the master, but it's a good slave. And I don't want to insult it by saying it's a slave and then rebel against me and be like, nigga, I know. You know what I'm saying? But
that's dope. So is Cambada involved with this as well?
Well, not this particular project, but me and Cambada starting a whole new genre called medicinal music. Teddy Riley said if you want a sound and you want it to be followed and you want it to be appreciated, to name it. We're looking to help people. We're calling it medicinal music. This is just my instrumental. I'm tackling this whole meditation genre. Black New Age movement going on. Everything we get involved with, we add spice to it.
Yes.
We add some type of flavor to it. And meditation music needs that same spice, needs that same flavor. And I'm here to add that to the whole meditational music movement.
And this is going to be paradigm shifting because there's a void that needed to be filled.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I talk a lot about Tariq Nasheed. He filled a void with the Hidden Colors series. It was just there, and a void needed to be filled for those coming out of religion and need to get a 101 understanding of who they are. So as we look around at all these other people making meditation CDs that are great, but they don't necessarily tune in to our frequency.
Yeah.
Now, Brother Rich is going to fill that void. So now when you think of meditation music, we don't have to go get the Om CD from Blibbly and all these motherfuckers. We can go to Blackmagik363 and get the shit ourselves.
You gotta understand, they define the spiritual community. They have defined awareness, self-awareness as racism. So, as being a melanated being, what we call melanated, whatever term we use, the more we try to discover ourselves and we discover we love our hair and we discover we love who we are and the fact that we love to dance and we may express that, they get offended by that and they say that that's racist. Don't mention race. They and a lot of them, all the self-help gurus out here,
yes, absolutely.
They are scared shitless to mention race.
Yes,
scared shitless because they don't want to lose their following because their following is white and they get offended by you mentioning race.
Absolutely.
Just because I mention race doesn't mean I'm racist. It means I'm becoming self-aware of myself as a person and as a group of people who has suffered from post-traumatic slavery syndrome.
Facts.
PTSD.
Absolutely.
So I have to act and I have to behave in a certain way and I have to study a certain doctrine just in order for me to appreciate myself.
Facts.
So it's so inauthentic for them not to realize that and for them to talk shit about this and act like, oh, you're not as spiritual. You're playing the color game. I'm not. Some people do play the color game.
Right. Some people have not evolved past that, but that's not what we're talking about here.
I'm talking about there's nothing wrong with acknowledging. This is a movie, right?
Yes.
Denzel had to acknowledge his character in Training Day in order to be that character.
Absolutely.
If he went on set and he said, I'm Denzel, I'm not this, I'm not him, I can't be, they'd be like, nigga, you can't play the movie then. In order for me to play this movie, I have to acknowledge my character. My character came down here as what we call an African-American male from Harlem, New York, and whatever. So it goes back to the what's the word I used earlier? Not polarity. It's just complex. It's a contradiction.
Yeah, paradox.
Paradox. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm this African American male from Harlem, but I'm also unlimited awareness.
Spiritual being having a human
experience.
Yes.
So who am I? I gotta find that balance.
Absolutely.
I gotta find that. And most time, you find individuals that's on this side or that side. This nigga's so out there, he's crazy,
right.
Or this nigga's so in the world that he's selling drugs. All he worries about is pussy, and he watches TV. It's two extremes.
And I am all of that.
Yeah.
And then some. You know what I mean? This is why I never truly try to allow people to box me in and define me, because my experience today may not be what my experience is tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm on this journey. I'm on this path to experience as much as I can. If your whole purpose was to come down here and experience nothing, then why the fuck are you here? Why the fuck are you here?
Nigga, you might have came down here to experience a cheeseburger.
Facts.
You so worried about being a vegan. Nigga, you never experienced that cheeseburger, that GMO that you
Absolutely.
There's no right, bad, and like, don't try to box me into bad or good.
Right.
We're not even talking about that.
That's morality, and that's a whole nother
We're not even talking about
fucking
that
can
right
of worms.
We're not even talking about
and that's what I use to get through my life every day. And I tell Malcolm all the time, listen, I drove by, and that Popeye's chicken sandwich called me in there, nigga. And I went in and experienced that shit.
And
I pulled the data. Listen, I pulled the data.
Pulled the data from the information.
From the information was like, okay, I'm done with it. I didn't go the next day and the day after and create a habit around eating fucking chicken sandwiches, because I understand the laws of cause and effect. I enjoyed that shit. I let it go.
Listen, there's no need. I'm gonna tell you this. There's no need in being spiritual, being vegan, or whatever or conscious if you're miserable. If you're miserable,
then you created another prison.
You created another prison, and you're still gonna die early. You still gonna. Our emotions dictate our health.
Facts.
So just because you eating grass all motherfucking day, don't mean you're gonna live a good life. See, we confuse. It's all about our vibrational state.
All about our vibrational state.
We are vibrational beings
all the time. There was a time when I was a prisoner to the same shit I was doing. Like I gotta drink this green juice because it means that shit meant absolutely nothing if I wasn't vibrating on the right frequency. I know, and I mention this. I know motherfucking crackheads who never spent a day in a fucking hospital, a day in their life, and they running around this motherfucker crazy. I know motherfuckers who ate nothing but vegetables and worked out, and they dead. So please do not tell me that Kobe Bryant, perfect example, he was on a fucking airplane, fucking helicopter. Had nothing to do with sea moss or green juice or none of that shit. So your vibration here is far more greater than you would like to admit. Now that doesn't mean you. Please don't be a literalist.
Yeah, people will.
Please don't.
People will take something and
run
it in
literally
the ground.
run that shit down the hill.
We do that.
So
as
I always have to go. Do not take this shit literal. Understand your time here and your experience here is to have a full experience to the best of your ability until it's time for you to clock out of this bitch. And in the meantime, before I clock out, I'm gonna get some meditation music to help me go to even a higher level on you niggas.
Facts.
Is it out already?
It will be out by the end of this month.
Okay.
The beginning of March. I delayed it a little bit. I just wanted to make it just right.
Okay.
I released 2 songs so far. It's a 7-song EP.
Do you want to have? You gonna have like a listening body or?
No, I'm just
You're
gonna
not gonna do
release
all
it.
that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna release it. Yeah, I'm just gonna release it.
You sure?
But yeah.
Come up here, man. We got bottles of Henny, nigga. We can get a party.
Hey, man, I already had some tequila, so I
you had some already? Okay. Well, you know how we do.
Yeah, I know. Dot hospitality is A1, family. Dot Dot treat you like a king whenever you come to the studio. I'm thoroughly impressed. Side note off of this. The way your wife, your son, and you do this thing, I'm thoroughly impressed.
Thank you.
I've never seen nothing like this in my life.
Appreciate it, man.
The collective team effort that goes on here. Listen, it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm not exaggerating one bit. If you say Brother Rich talks with integrity and I talk with my soul, and I'm going to close my eyes because the darkness lets me tell the truth, and I'm going to close my eyes while I say this. It's absolutely beautiful what I say. You know what? It's not that it's beautiful. I envision one day me, my son, and my queen working together. And I know nothing's perfect.
Yes.
Nobody's saying that. No, because that's like we said, they niggas take shit literally.
Yeah.
They be like, well, me and my girl argued yesterday. No, nigga, okay, great. Okay, get over it. I'm not saying that. Argue, get over it. What I'm saying is that it's beautiful the fact that y'all could collectively come together and put this together and make it look like this. It's absolutely beautiful. I want my son to be involved with me. When I see you and Malcom,
yes.
I want to work with my son on that level. Man.
And that's the message we're trying to convey.
Work with my son
to those and their parents. And I'm gonna be honest.
You don't see this in the black community,
right. So I wanted to help.
And it didn't come. This didn't come about like overnight.
No, we worked at it.
Yeah,
I had to get him to understand while we working. I'm not your dad. Don't fucking call me dad. You know what I mean? We doing business.
That's expected.
And I'm gonna hold you accountable, and vice versa. And me and wife been doing this. We've been doing this for years.
And even I was having like even growing up like my pops, he always told me like I created this business for you guys, and I was just still kind of like
right.
I'm gonna go do my own thing, and then. Like, it literally just kind of hit me. Like, one day I was at work while I was still in college. I was like, you know what? I want to work with you guys.
That's how it happens. Listen, did you get offended when he originally? Because
no. Go do your thing.
You allowed him to
go do your thing. When you ready, I'll be here, and we can get this.
When
thing
the student
popping.
is ready, the
teacher will appear. You know what I mean? And so go do your thing. Go out in corporate America. You earned your degree.
Your ego wasn't hurt.
Hell no. But I did put something on the track in hopes and vision that my children could grow into it, and me, develop some things. And I'm having a ball. When I tell you I'm having a ball, because it's a hack. It's a family hack. I call a meeting sometimes just so I could be with the family. Hey, I'm calling a meeting. Motherfucker, boss move. And it keeps your children close to you, and you grow together. You know what I mean? And we got some big announcements coming soon.
We'll let you know off camera.
Yeah, we got some things cooking. I mean, like, this shit is brewing, and it's great because we're giving people a window into this and how we do it, and we lay it all out there when we fuck up, when we mess shit up. So it's all there, so you don't get this perfect picture because it's far from perfect, and we striving for something. Dope. So we appreciate everybody in our chat.
Facts, man.
Who get down with us.
Definitely, man.
Side note, We need to all be on a string. I'm talking about everybody in the so-called conscious community that has their own platform. We're not on a string. When your last album came out, to me, it should have moved 50,000 units on the string. Meaning you were supposed to go through 50 conscious outlets, and every single outlet added on to each. When your book just dropped, you were supposed to be on a 50 podcast tour of conscious people in the community on a string, and that's how we control narrative. Yeah, like, and that's how the major people do it.
That's how they do it.
That's how they do it.
What's the point of having our own platforms, quote unquote, if we're not using them how they're supposed to be used?
Right. See, Rich is here today. Next week we'll be on here. We have to all be on a string so that we can control our own narrative, and people can't say weird things about us. And when we have something to offer the people, we know when Ghost drop, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna move 50,000 units because we got 300,000 people built in. And we don't have that on a string. We have some people over here working together, some people taking shots at them, some people doing this, some people doing that, and we need to be on a string.
Facts.
That's just my humble opinion.
Indeed.
So, where can you be reached? And tell me about some other things you got on. I heard you got a conference coming up soon.
Yeah, we got I got a women's conference.
Okay.
Coming up in July. And I'm still
have you picked the women that you?
I got some names out there
that you think can rock.
Big names, that's definitely gonna rock.
Okay,
I'm not gonna say them just now.
All right, yeah, solidify some things. Yes,
but
yes.
Everything ain't finalized now, so I'm telling the people to give me suggestions. But we're gonna have a family. We're gonna have a huge women conference in probably July in Brooklyn, New York City. I'm probably going to call it the Shakti Conference or something like that. It's going to be like something you never seen before. We're going to have speakers speaking, and we're going to have an area where women are in the back giving consultations like
absolutely.
That. It's going to be absolutely magnificent. It's going to be something. It's going to be such a divine, feminine, divine presence that you're going to be like, oh shit, like you're going to feel like you just came out the womb. You're going to feel like you know, like mama just birthed you. Like it's one of that type of feeling, but that's coming real soon. Besides that, me and Billy Carson is doing. We're combining. We're doing a workshop in May, probably May 23rd in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And it's called the I Magi Nation Workshop, 6-hour workshop. It's gonna be off the hook.
So hands on.
So
not just theory. It's time to get hands on. Get this workshop.
It's not just you sitting there listening. It's interactive. We're gonna have special exercises for everybody to do. That's going to impact your psyche, your brain, your heart. Because the goal right now, we experience an era of brain information. We need an era of brain and heart information. We need brain-heart coherence.
Yeah.
What I said earlier, I said the thoughts and the emotions create reality.
Right.
We
can't have synergy of two.
We can't have these gay thoughts. We can't just have electrical thoughts without the emotional principle. And that's what we've been doing. It's a bunch of males getting together. It's not only about males because we have male and female within us.
Right.
But we can't just have thoughts without the emotional equivalent to back it. Once we have the thoughts and emotion,
then we have balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Do the Knowledge Radio.
But we have creation.
Absolutely.
There's no creation without thoughts and emotion.
Yes,
electrical magnetism. So yeah.
Shout out to Do the Knowledge Radio, Born Out Loud. We're gonna be on his show Sunday 4 p.m.
Yeah.
So Do the Knowledge Radio. We see you guys. So we're gonna be in the building 4 p.m. rocking. This is what we mean by being on a string. So Do the Knowledge has his own audience. We're gonna come and touch that audience, and that's how we're gonna get this whole thing moving. So where can you be reached?
I just want to say this before I say that. Right. I'm like, you know how Kanye, he just want to say some shit sometimes.
Yeah, let it rip.
I just want to say this. Because I feel like Kanye talks sometimes from his heart. He just talk from somewhere, whether it's right or wrong, where it's not where normal people talk from.
Yes.
And I just want to say this. I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to my son. My son is 16 months. And I've been in this matrix. I'm in my mid-30s. I've been in this matrix for a long time. And I've never experienced something like having my son. And it has been the most magnificent. It's been the hardest and the magnificent. It's that, what's that word we use? I'm not good with words. What's that word we use? We keep using?
Paradox.
Paradox. It's hard, but it's the most beautiful. hard, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's the most beautiful thing in the world, but it's hard because I'm trying to balance my life. I'm trying to balance work, my relationship. My relationship suffered. My work life suffered.
Yes.
And so many things suffered from me giving so much attention to bringing him from it's a baby, so it's full attention.
Yes.
Can't walk, can't do anything.
Listen, Brother Rich, my lecture to you. You know what I'm saying?
I remember you gave that video.
The fatherhood video.
You told me all of that.
I was trying to tell you
told
this.
Me all of that.
This is a process, right? And in that process, you're going to have to give a part of yourself that you are not accustomed to giving because you never had to. Mm-hmm. And then wifey is going to have a period where she's feeling a little neglected because you're creative. And then
that exact thing happened.
No, dude, I know. I was trying to let you know that even this
Malcom.
too shall pass.
It's going to happen. Yo, listen.
Yes, this too shall pass, but you got to be able to ride that wave and put it in balance. The only thing that you do have in your favor is that you do work from home. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you can intermittently provide support where other individuals are out on a 9-to-5 working long hours away from home, and your wife is waiting for you to come in to even have a dope conversation, and you come in, you tired, little man is waiting for you. He want to get down on the floor and do what's important to him. Now, the shit may not be important to you, but that truck that you bought him, that's the most important shit for him, and you better get down on the floor with him and make this shit about his truck, or you're going to lose, right? So, shall pass because it all goes in cycles. So, as long as you and wifeys keep the communication open, right? Y'all going to go through some shit, but when you keep the communication open, and then one day, it's just going to click. He going to get a little older, and he going to be potty trained, and he going to be able to tell you, Dad, I need this and that. And then cartoons become your best friend. You like the motherfuckers. I knew all the latest cartoons. And then you and wifey can get back to doing what you and wifey do. So no worries, but there is going to be a testing process.
Period.
And all the beauty of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you bring life here, it really changes everything. Because now you're not just looking for you or looking out for you. You have other agendas now. You know what I mean? So when I came up in the conscious community, niggas was making fun of having a job. I had a job that paid me $80,000 to $100,000 a year. Fuck you. I got kids that need to be fed,
right.
and I can be conscious and have a job. How about that? And so there's different phases that you have to go through to make this work. You're gonna figure it all out. Virgos always do.
Yeah.
Let's drop the bomb to that.
I definitely had to say that.
No, real talk. 16 months?
So, yeah, 16.
Wow.
16 months.
You got to bring them up here.
Definitely, man.
I want to run around with them and shit. I wear kids out.
Just in case he sees.
They be like, tell Uncle Wayne, I'm tired and shit. I wear kids out and shit. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about.
But as far as getting in touch with me, like you said, contact. Hit up my email, richandmerit at Yahoo. That's RICHINMERIT. So that's richandmerit at yahoo.com. You email me for inquiries or whatever, and I'll respond. I'm gonna have further more contact info later on down the line. I'm actually getting another number. I'm actually doing the Ryan Leslie approach. Instead of using email, I'm gonna have another number, because Ryan Leslie said you get a better conversion if you have a phone number instead of having an email.
Oh, we just got a phone number. Clap that up.
Okay.
We just got it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna add another line to my account, and I'm gonna have a phone number where I can reach the people. Because YouTube, listen, I've been at 269,000 subscribers for 10 months. They fuck with my subscribers.
So
my people don't get announcements.
Yes.
They be like, yo, I didn't get a notification.
So we've been at 44,000 or 42 to 44,000 for about 6 to 8 months. I know.
And the views you get,
I know the views we get.
Bullshit.
They bullshitting. Yes.
YouTube is bullshitting with the algorithms. They bullshitting with the numbers.
We got something for them.
They don't even want to monetize 80% of the content right now.
Right.
If you're talking about anything authentic. So
we got something for them. Don't worry.
Yeah, we all got. That's what that.
We're gonna unleash the beast on these.
Yeah, we all are.
So with that being said, Malc, you want to close out?
Oh yes. Thank you for the people who joined us tonight. All the people in the chat. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to visit shopurbanx.com to take part in the 29 for 29 sale.
Go to Blackmagik363. You know, Rich is always putting up powerful information.
You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't forget to listen to our podcast if you're not watching on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, all of that good stuff. And we appreciate you guys. Peace.
Peace. We are out of here.